Hey folks, what's going on? I'm Captain Spicy Pants. I wanted to put a video out for the weekend before we stream on Monday, and it's something that I've been meaning to do for a little bit, and I think this is going to be more geared towards newer players or players who are making a KDF recruit for the first time. We just finished this event over on PC, but it does come up pretty regularly throughout the years, so I thought I'd put something out there that I have seen a lot of players ask about, and a lot of these players will be asking in zone chat or they'll be asking in fleet chats. What is it that I'm talking about? Well, what it is how to get the 2,500 melee kills, the 2,500 ambush kills, and even get in Marauding up to level 10, or I'm sorry, level 4, not Admiralities, but level 4. And basically, like, the easiest and best way to do these things. So we're going to start off right here with the Marauding section because it's fairly straightforward, right? You just pick up Marauding assignments all throughout the sector. Now, what are the best sectors to do this in? Well, I find every 2 days, if you're in the Chronos sector, you can get an assignment right here called Sell Prisoners to Orion Slavers. This is a 1K Marauding experience assignment. Unless you get some gold press platinum. Not that that really matters. That's just 1,000 right there. All right, so the next area that I definitely do is I would transwarp to the Alpha Quadrant here in the Pharaoh system. You come out here, the Pharaoh sector. And basically what you're going to do is you can plot a course, say, to Badlands, right, and have it auto travel there. But while you're traveling, you want to keep your duty officer window open and keep it on current map. Because you're going to see here in a second when I cross the border, we should see a Marauding mission or two, or a couple of them pop up. Just really depends on the time and the sector update. There we go. So we have one that popped up right here. Now, I don't have the current officer needed for this. It's probably on one of these assignments right now. But my run pretty much consists of the Pharaoh straight to Bajor. And every time I cross a border, I'll get 1 to 4 or 5 Marauding missions. And see here, these are all Marauding missions. So it's a very simple run. I start from Chronos, then I go to the Pharaoh, and I just basically make this little loop right here. If you follow my mouse on screen, I just little circle. That's it. Cross these sectors right here for me. So that's the Marauding section. Next, we're going to jump over into melee kills and then ambush. So the point of this video is to give you the fastest possible options. I'm going to give you 2 for melee. One of them is happening during First Contact Day event. I'm going to show that. And the other one is you can do it at any time that you want. Since I have both of these done here on PC, we're going to switch over to console where I do have a KDF Recruit. All right, so now we're on console. What's the setup? What are we doing? Well, it's pretty simple. You're going to go down to events, First Contact, and load into One Night in Bozeman. Okay, so I don't see a way to make your bridge officers passive, and that's okay. It doesn't really take away from what it is we're going to be doing anyways. I do want to point out that bridge officers do not count towards the melee kills, but the reason why that I'm saying for this event in particular is at the end of the patrol, which we'll show when we get to that point. I'm gonna run this through. I'm gonna run it off camera. I'm gonna get to the end. You're gonna come to a point where 7 and 9 has to activate the transporter consoles. If you activate the first one and do not go and touch the second or the third one, say you accidentally do touch the second one, but don't go touch the third one, you have an unlimited spawn on board, and we're going to show you that you can just melee down the entire time. All right, we are now at the end of the patrol, and you're going to know you're there when it says go to the transmission tower, okay? So when you're here at the transmission tower, 7's going to pop up, going to say get her to the 3 transporter pads. This is very much your unlimited melee spawn. I want to show before we jump in, just to give you an idea of where we're at, right? So for Warrior's Blood, we have 293 out of 5, right? I am not going to do all 2,500 on this character because I've already done it, but I will show you exactly how this process works and what you can do. Now, 7 is going to yell at you the entire time if you don't get to the transporter pads. Now, like I said, go ahead and get the first one rolling. It's okay. You don't need this first one whatsoever. But there is a group right in front of me, right behind this fence line right here. This is where your unlimited farm starts at. And you literally can just stand here and beat down these enemies. And unfortunately for console, I don't know if there is an option, but there is no way to make your bridge officers passive that I can see. If somebody does know this, please put this in the comments down below. That would greatly help console players. On PC, you would put your duty or your bridge officers on passive, and you would just sit here and farm your unlimited spawn and board while they put out healing generators, shield generators, whatever to keep you alive, which at this point we may not survive this one because, they're not really good things. But use things yourself, to keep yourself alive or whatever, right? But let's come over here to Warrior's Blood. And you see, we've gone up, right?
2 to go. Stay sharp. They know we're up to
7's going to still yell at you because you have 2 to go. But there's all these Borg, and they're still spawning in. They're still there. And as long as you don't hit those transformers, they will keep teleporting in. So use this mission while it's available until the 7th. We're going to beam out of here, and I'll show you all the other mission. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So the next one is going to be in your mission journal, and you're going to go over to episodes, and under Klingon Civil War, you're going to load up the mission Partisans.
I have something you need.
All right, so now that you've loaded in, you're going to do this first part. Very straightforward, very easy to do. Come inside here, talk to the bouncer. It's going to say to find somebody in here. They're follow this exact path to get to them. You basically want to get to the point where it says find Modron. This is where the farm setup begins. You're going to come up to Modron.
You'll surrender.
Once again, just like First Contact did, there are 3 consoles around the room that want you to activate them. Don't activate them. If you come over to here, you will begin this spawn of enemies. You can farm these, and that's fine. You could. But if you wanted more enemies, you can come over here. What I personally like to do, because especially here on console where you just can't put your people on passive, I like to grab 2 groups. I don't typically like to grab all 3, but as long as you don't activate a single console, once again, you can just sit here and farm to your heart's content. Keep yourself alive, let your bridge officers heal you, do whatever you need to do. But you can sit here for about 3 hours and get all 2,500 done. There you have it, folks. About 73 in less than 5 minutes. 73 kills. Started at 311. So that gives you an idea of how quickly you can do this here or on First Contact Day. Your melee kills should not be an issue. Now, let's jump into the last thing for this video. The last thing we're going to do is ambush kills. And how do you get them effectively without having to compete with others in TFOs? Well, you go and create a private one. You go into a private one. You are specifically looking for the TFO called Breach. Breach loads up. Make sure you are in a ship that has cloak and that you can decloak from and get the ambush bonus from. In this case, I'm using a Damash. I do have my KDF set up as a science character. I like sciencey stuff. You can do this in any cloaking ship. The way ambush works is when you decloak, you have 5 to 10 seconds, depending on the extension or ambush, right? So 5 to 10 seconds to get the ambush bonus and for it to count. Now, if you're running a fire at will setup, works out great. You can hit all the targets and destroy them as fast as possible. Torpedo spread, same thing. Anything sciencey, I recommend, grab wells, very cold in space, something to just trigger off AoEs and spores, run things that are just AoE like, right? So what I do is, why is the camera angle so, there we go. Let's pull that back some. That is wild. What I do is I skip everything because none of this is going to be where we want to farm ambush kills at. Where we want to go to is a little bit inside here, and you don't have to hit any of this stuff. You can just fly past it. None of it matters. And what I do is I come over here after this first little roundabout, and I will pick a wall. It doesn't really matter which one. So we're going to use this one right in front of us right here. And I'll just come and sit about right here. Get a bunch of them kind of lined up to where they're highlighted, right? And as soon as you pick your hard point and you decloak, you're going to fire off every kind of AoE ability you have and let it destroy stuff for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then you're going to recloak. So before we start this, let's just see where we're at. Hunter's Instinct, 2284. All right. So now that you've got your hard point selected, we'll get a little bit closer. You're going to decloak, fire everything off. Let AoEs and everything take care of it, fire at wills, whatever you got, for about 5 to 10 seconds, right? And then you're going to recloak and you're going to rinse and repeat this process. We're going to do this about 2 or 3 times. I'll kind of just speed up the decloaking and cloaking process in between times just to show you how fast it is. There you have it. We're already at 2305. That's it. That's how quick this goes. Make sure you just cloak and recloak every single time, or you will automatically go back to combat. So that's it, folks. That's literally all you have to do. You can see there on the optional, I'm only at 18%, and we've already gotten that far ahead. So, like I said, I could get all 2,500, and that's not a big deal. But for those of you that are struggling, that's why I wanted to put this video out there, is to give you a visual aid of like how this, basically how little time this will take. Of course, it can go faster or slower depending on how you fine tune it or don't fine tune it. If you don't have certain setups or whatnot, and that's okay. But if you are looking to get your ambush, your melee, your marauding done, I hope these tips can help you. I know that for a lot of veteran players, this may or may not be helpful at all. Most of us do tend to know these little tips and tricks, but I do see quite enough people asking, especially for their KDF recruits, especially if they're new to doing it and they haven't done it before, how they can get it done much quicker. That way they can move on with the game and do other things with their other characters, or maybe they might enjoy their KDF recruit and they still want to work on stuff for this character, but they just don't want to focus on the monotony of melee or stealth stuff. So these are the options that I wanted to bring to you all, and hopefully it'll help you out a little bit. And like I said, we are back to streaming Monday and Tuesdays here on YouTube and Twitch, Captain Spicy, and same as always, 8 p.m. till midnight Eastern Standard Time. And I hope this helped you out. And if it did, throw me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And until next time, take care. I will see you on the next video.